Alright guys, so the upside down fire was successful yet again, but I want to try out this, which you guys can't see because it's dark. This is that little mini, I wouldn't call it a pocket, but this small fire extinguisher, or fire suppressant as it's called. At the end of the video I'll show this can and what it looks like and all that stuff with better lighting, but I'm going to sacrifice this beautiful fire on this beautiful night to see if this thing works. So we're going to extinguish it. This top has the same safety mechanism as the Cold Steel Inferno pepper spray, where if you look, my thumb can't accidentally hit it. You have to lift up this spring-loaded plate, and then the real button is on the inside. So let's give this a good shake, see if it puts fire out. Here we go. Got a fine stream to it. You see that dribbling out, but we're empty. The last little bit. Oh, there you go. You can see it now. All right. I'm going to say that's unsuccessful, as I'm still staring at a beautiful fire. So yeah, I just, if the fire suppressant or the foam, whatever's inside there, it had a really good strong stream, but you don't really want a stream. I would prefer this to have sprayed, you know, in a wide section so it covered more of that fire, because obviously it was ineffective. I don't know what size fire this is rated for. I mean, right now I'm burning, you know, 4 medium-sized logs, so it's not like, you know, a massive fire or anything. I mean, it's better than nothing, but that did not work. Okay, so yeah, the can's completely empty. So there you go. You know, that's why you gotta try things. I mean, obviously if you had a real tiny fire, it might work, but I would put it to you this way: whatever size fire this would be functional in, you could probably stomp out with your feet just fine. So I would say that's ineffective. Save your money, get a larger, you know, more effective fire extinguisher. So that's it. All right guys, so now that the demo's over, let's take a closer look at this and talk about it a little bit. So you can see this is a Blaze Defense Systems and what they're calling fire suppression device. Now, technically, yes, it suppressed the fire slightly for a little while, and then the fire was, you know, bigger than ever, even before I started spraying it. I don't know if that's specific that they say it's a fire suppression device to get around the fact that it probably won't put your fire out completely, you know, instead of putting a fire extinguisher on here, you know, because essentially that's what this is. It's a pocket fire extinguisher. I don't know anyone who would want to slightly suppress their fire. You know, if that's the case, you could spill a little water on it, on the sides, I guess. I don't know. I think all of our assumptions is that this would put a fire out in an emergency. And as you saw there, it did not put the fire out. Even though it wasn't an emergency, it was a test. It's a good thing to test things, and this is why. Because before I tested it, I would assume that this would have worked. Hey, you know what? Oh man, there's a fire going on. I don't want the fire. Whatever it is, whether it's an auto fire or, you know, a campfire that got out of control or whatever it is, you would grab this and you'd be good to go. But apparently that's not the case. So here's my opinions as to what happened. I think that the contents of this canister would be effective if it was properly applied. And there's 2 things I think went wrong here and why it did not put the fire out. Number 1, the stream was way too, it was like a jet stream. It was way too tight. What I wanted to see with this was when I pulled that, or pushed that button, and by the way, you can see the safety plate on top here, so you don't accidentally push it. You have to lift this up, it's on a spring, all right, and then you have to push this down. But when I pushed that button down, I was kind of hoping that it would be this wide, thick, extra foamy spray that just sprayed everywhere. And it wasn't. It was foam, okay, as you saw there, but it was a very tight beam of foam, a very tight, well, not beam, a stream, I suppose. And that was less effective than if it sprayed all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted a wider, you know, spray as opposed to a very tight spray. I don't know anyone who's going to try to put a fire out, at least a smaller fire, from across the room. You know, you're right up on it, you're spraying right into where, you know, the material, the medium is actually burning. So I think it was too tight of a stream, and even more importantly, it just wasn't enough. I don't know, you can probably count it. I'm guessing from memory, because obviously I'm filming the tabletop here after the demo. It was like 5 to 7 seconds of actual, you know, spray. Just not enough. Nowhere near enough for that semi-small fire. Now again, you're talking about a you know, emergency situation where you have a fire that you don't want. you know, it's going to burn your car down, your house down, whatever, your campsite, whatever, start a forest fire. That was not a very large fire. And if it couldn't contain that fire, which was in a fire ring that was probably, I had like 3 or 4 logs there. I mean, to me, I consider that a small fire. So if this couldn't, take care of a small fire, it's certainly not going to take care of something that was bigger. And as I mentioned in the video, kind of sarcastically, but honestly, whatever this would put out, you can stomp out with your foot or take your shirt off and just cover it. I mean, it's just not enough. The material inside may be good, but it's not enough to be effective. That pretty much sums it up, guys. I'm kind of beating a dead horse here. You get what I'm saying. It's just maybe effective if it was much bigger. It just wasn't big enough, didn't last long enough, and the spray wasn't wide enough to be effective in putting that fire out. Now, just as a quick note here, manufacturer's date is 6/2/16, so this is not an old can. In case you're assuming that it's really old and that's why it sprayed the way it did or didn't work that effective. No, this is a nice fresh can that came in a recent battle box. So it says, do not use on electrical fires. Well, that was not an electrical fire. It was a simple old campfire. Started with some tinder and kindling, and it has been burning. At the time that I was trying to put it out, it was burning for about 40 minutes. All right, so in case you need that reference as well. There was a decent sized ember there, but still, I was really hoping that even this small canister would be able to handle something like that. So I'm not confident in using this product at all in a real emergency situation. Just don't think it's effective enough. So that's it. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. Yet again, another example as to why you should test your gear before you rely on it. So there you go. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you around.